Hey, it's Tpok. I'm back in Symphonic Rain. It's been a while. I think I left off talking with, Asino. Yeah. I had you take me here, but I think places like this aren't really suited for me after all.
それもそうだな。じゃあ行くか。
You're quick to agree, are you sure?
まだ。とりあえず外に出よう。
Got it. I closed the door and walked off with Asino.
あっさりしてる理由だっけ？
Oh, you seem to be having fun, so I figured you wouldn't want to go.
今日は自分のために来たわけじゃないからな。
Well, sorry.
いや、悪くはないさ。
But I never seriously searched.
少しは探してたんだろ？
I suppose. If you could call deciding that someone is no good just by looking at their face searching, then sure, I searched a little.
だろう？それに、あそこにはお前に似合うやつはいないよ。
Sure. Of my kind.
いろんな意味でな。人間的にも、音楽的にもだ。
Yeah, I feel it. I feel that way as well. The two of us walked around school for a bit, but nothing came out of it. Right after we left the campus grounds, I stopped in my tracks. Asino gallantly walked on through the mist-like rain. I frowned. Asino casually turned around and said,
早く来いよ。雨なんて珍しくもないだろ。
I know, I just don't really like getting drenched.
そんなこと言ったって、傘なんか差してたら注目の的だぞ。
I know. Though there's probably just something wrong with the people around me who consider umbrellas uncool.
子供なんだろ。
I guess. I caught up to Asino with a short dash. He continued.
お前はいざとなったらトルティニタとでも組めばいいんだし、今日はこれくらいでいいだろ。
I guess. I didn't really feel like doing that. On the other hand, it was a bad idea to put too much anticipation into this person Miss Cordell was going to arrange for me as well. What's wrong? Asino let out a seemingly unintentional sigh, perhaps due to the rut in the conversation.
ああ、ちょっと疲れたな。
I see. Sorry for wasting your time today.
だからそういうんじゃないって。
Jeez, he's mad at me for being considerate. You said they didn't suit me earlier, didn't you?
女の子のことだ。
Yeah, but you know, they don't suit you either, do they?
何が？
Girls whose names you don't even remember, isn't that what wore you out?
いや、みんな楽しんでる。
Does that everyone include you?
焼いてるのか？
What?
女の子にだよ。
I have no idea how you came to that conclusion.
クリスはかわいいね。
As he said those ridiculous things to me, he patted my head for some reason. Oh no. Hey,
はいはい。そろそろ帰るか。
I'm gonna go home no matter what you say. I don't think I made a good choice there. Despite my rather aggressively sweeping away his hand from my head, Asino's ambiguous smile showed no sign of crumbling.
じゃあ、大通りまで一緒に行くか。
In the end, despite my constant complaining, Asino was still in a good mood.
そうだクリス。これから特に用事がなければ、一緒に晩ご飯でもどうだ？
Huh? I don't have any plans for a thing. I was cooked for myself. Didn't have a part-time job, so I was relying on my parents' allowance for day-to-day expenses. I didn't have to worry about tuition since the Fortelle course was government-sponsored. That's nice. So I had a pretty easy life and wasn't too much of a burden on my parents. But I told myself not to squander money regardless of being in such a position. Where do you want to go? Asino was living in this town with his family, so we could afford some luxuries. I always refused to go to a place I couldn't afford. But Asino knew that, so he rarely invited me to such places.
いいトラットリアを最近見つけたんだ。値段ももちろん手頃だ。
I see. In that case, sure. It's been a while since we've eaten out together after all. A trattoria was aimed at the general public, so it wasn't that luxurious. I had the financial leeway to eat out at least once a month. My parents urged me to do so as well.
ああ、場所は旧市街でクリスの家から近いはずだ。ひょっとしたら知ってるかもしれないかな。
Nah, I don't know there was a... I didn't know there was a trattoria near my house. I don't eat out much, and if I do, it's usually with you. But the old town, huh?
どうかしたか？
It's just a little unusual. Most of the places you take me to are either in the new town, or at best along Main Street.
知り合いに連れてってもらってね。それから気に入ってるんだ。
There it is. Copert. Don't know what that means. The establishment Asino had taken me to had Copert written on a signboard and looked pretty stylish from the outside. Huh, place is an unexpectedly good taste.
お前ほどじゃないよ。
Are we going inside? Okay. It was about dinner time, so it was pretty crowded inside. Asino casually called out to a female attendant, who then guided us in while pleasantly conversing with him, making me wonder if he came here often.
クリスは何を頼む？
Doesn't matter, I'll just pick something.
いつもそれだな。じゃあこの店のおすすめなんて聞く必要もないか。
I guess. I'll have pasta. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini, for simplicity's sake.
スーっぽい頼み方しやがって。まあ、俺もそれでいいか。他のは食べたしな。
They said that with a simple pasta of red peppers, garlic, and olive oil, one could learn the quality of an establishment. Of course, I had no such intentions in mind and just ordered it because I liked it. But Asino, who knew about that, ridiculed me for it and shrugged his shoulders.
なあ、お前のパートナーのことだけど。
Asino started as I brought a spoonful of the freshly served food to my mouth. As expected from a trattoria, to Asino's liking, the food was delicious.
トルティニタじゃないのか。
Why does everyone want me to partner with Torta?
それが自然だからだ。
Well, I know that, but...
それに、お前が組んでくれないと俺が困るんだよ。
Why is that?
トルティニタに脅されてるんだよ。協力しろってさ。
Oh, that's a lie.
口では言わないけどな。俺にはわかるんだよ。
Say whatever you want.
まあ、それはどうでもいいんだが。
Exactly.
理由は何なんだ？
The reason I won't partner with Torta?
俺には思いつかないんでね。
Are you worried about me as a friend? Or perhaps...
もちろん、下世話の好奇心だよ。
What are you going on with the perhaps stuff? Huh. Well, thanks. It's Ari.
アリエッタか。俺は会ったことがないからわからないが、お前にはトルティニタの方が似合ってると思うけどな。
Ouch. You wouldn't understand. Torta would be fine with it, but Ari...
大丈夫じゃないか？ま、お前のことだから好きにすればいいさ。
That's my intention. You're the one who brought it up.
心配なんだよ。
How about giving priority to your own worries?
当たり前だ。誰がお前の心配してるって言った？
Yeah, thanks anyway. I've gotten used to his frivolous behavior. He said it was mere curiosity exactly because he was genuinely concerned. If he really was just curious, he was the kind of guy that would pretend to be sincerely worried instead. In the end, that might have been all he had wanted to ask me, since after that we only talked about trivial things. After finishing our meal, we left the store and parted ways. Where's my fairy Forney? I'm home. I ate out today. The restaurant Asino had taken me to was pretty good, so I felt satisfied. But Asino's attitude felt a bit out of place. Was this really something to worry himself so much over? Yeah. I let Forney in on everything that had happened today as usual. And another uneventful day without much project came to an end. I just need to figure out how to meet Fal again. I don't... she's like, I'm free next week, not this week. Practice and lunch. I spent my time until noon the same way I always did. As I began pondering what to do next, Torta spoke to me. Yeah, more or less. You'll just have to believe me. No use asking me, you know that, don't you? Thanks. Sure, see you next week. Oh, is today Friday? Well then, what shall I do now? Only place left. Old school building. Oh, blackboards. Haven't seen those in for... Whoa, not practice room. I went around peeking into some empty lecture and practice rooms randomly. I recognized some of the faces of students who were coming and going, but I quickly realized that even though I knew people by face, it would not get me anywhere. My eyes would meet with some students, I would bow my head and then simply continue walking. What the heck, dude? We need a partner. Walking through the rain, I pondered whether I should give it up for today. I obviously disliked being soaked by the rain. Even so, deep inside I could never come to hate the cool sensation of raindrops on my skin, nor the distorted scenery caused by rainwater seeping into my eyes. I didn't want to leave school without accomplishing anything, so I kept walking. Before I knew it, I found myself at a place not too familiar with me. A far cry from the tumult inside the newer school buildings, this area was shrouded in silence. Away from the tree-lined road that connected the school buildings with the front gate, a narrow path lay amidst densely grown trees, leading to the old school building. Piova Music Institute, which has turned out many talented musicians since ancient times, gradually earned a reputation. The number of students grew proportionally, and it had time to expand facilities when this original building had become too confined. As a result, the current two newer school buildings plus the concert hall that were constructed thanks to the support from the government and the nobility. The government wanted to share this unique and magnificent culture with the world. I figured the nobility were in it just so they could boast about being so fundamental to such a culture. Nowadays, there were a lot of aristocratic children at this school. The original building was never demolished but left standing for the students to use. Even so, the only activity this building saw were periodic cleanings and piano tunings by students as part of their practice routines, so it could hardly be considered actively used. I think this was when Asino and I came here for fun soon after we had come to the school. He had told me that the students of noble origin in particular would not set foot in here. I never had a reason to come here after that, so I didn't know much else about this place. That was a long description of this building that looks like the other buildings. Older, obviously, but still. I decided to take a look around, out of a sort of nostalgic curiosity, perhaps. Despite being free for use, students normally didn't come here. I was probably limited to the occasional poet or someone who just wanted to spend some time in quiet. The sound of a voice mingling with the rain faintly reached my ears. The voice had belonged to a student. Had to belong to a student. It was a common occurrence, really, but with my sudden spark of interest in the building, combined with the fact that I was in dire need of a vocalist partner, I couldn't help but sneak a peek. Here we go. The building was deathly silent, save for the voice, so it was easy to trace its source. The door was ajar, a ray of light accompanied by a song spilled out from it. Oh, animation. Oh, hello. The girl was singing. Indulging herself in the sound of her voice overflowing the classroom unbeknownst to anyone. I wasn't really an expert on vocal music, but there was something very captivating about her voice. I couldn't tear my eyes off this girl singing all by herself without relying on any sort of musical accompaniment. My fingers started moving on their own as though